So the 4 favorite scores of mine that made me want to get into this industry, I'm trying to think of 4 that aren't all John Williams, because I feel like it kind of is honestly that. Jurassic Park, that score is one that I listened to. The music carried so much of the emotional weight of the story that I could listen to the score outside of the context and feel the same sense of adventure. Star Wars, just in terms of like how John Williams approaches leitmotifs and developing those motifs over the course of the entire franchise. I'd also say Vertigo, Bernard Herrmann is another huge one for me. And I'd say for the 4th one, There'll Be Blood, Johnny Greenwood. I was so excited to see him get into that space, and just was the first time I heard a score that kind of expanded my thought of what a score could do. Seeing people like Johnny Greenwood or Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross or Mika Levy bringing a totally different sound and approach to the way a film score could be is really exciting for me. And I get even more excited when I see some of those composers not only bringing their sensibility artistically and musically, but also finding a way to honor the tradition of developing themes and developing a score over the course of an entire film, and not just writing music and slapping against a picture.
How did you approach the score for The Wild Robot?
I started by trying to figure out how to represent this meeting of the organic and the synthetic in the story, but trying to find the sound of both of those things required looking at a way to represent the wild in a way that was a little unorthodox. Like, that's not wallpaper or background. It had to be very, very intentional and melodic, so that those are things that stick with us and that we carry through the course of the film. Chris Sanders wanted the music to be a character, and he wanted there to be moments where there's little to no dialogue at all and music's really carrying the way that it feels. This is a story about a singular synthetic creature existing in this really vast, wild space. I knew I wanted it to be more organic than futuristic, just because for me, when I think about a score that represents wilderness, I immediately think of like ethnic flutes or like wind instruments that to me note some sort of culture. I didn't want to do that because it'd be distracting for me. And so I found this percussion ensemble called Sandbox Percussion that actually approaches percussion more in a sound design and like Foley kind of way, where they're playing on metal buckets and metal pipes that are tuned, planks of wood and an oxygen tank and all these different things, building percussion sets out of that stuff. I think with film composition, it's like the things that you're really, really into are what make you unique. Your own sound is going to come from the fact that you are a unique individual that has music taste that's unique to you. Going deep into the things that you love and studying those things, and then your own sound will develop and flourish out of that. Yeah, I know that the Letterboxd community is incredibly intentional with how they consider any of the films that they're going to give those sort of ratings to, and so to be in the top 200 means so much.